If you're trying to decide which hypnosis training is right for you, and you've been doing the research, you've seen everything from $7 certifications to $49 a month memberships to multi five-figure programs that can take 12 months to 2 years to finish. And at the end of the day, you're left wondering which one is cheapest. Is one of these a scam? Which one is the best? Because the reality is, if you go look at reviews, you will find raving fans and raging detractors for all programs. So if you're asking yourself which one is the cheapest or which one is the best, it's the wrong question to ask. The right question to ask is, will I actually be prepared to work with a real human being when I finish this program? Because every student brings something different through their own lived experience into a training. So that is the question that matters. Now, before you choose, there's one thing that you really want to think about, and that is at the end of the training, who do you want to become? Do you want to become a hypnotist who has a plethora of techniques that you've still yet to master? Or do you want to learn a cohesive transformation process that you understand deeply? Because those two things are not the same thing. Every program is going to teach you a hypnotic induction, but many programs will teach you a huge variety of inductions. They teach you to do all kinds of testing so you can figure out which induction is the right one before you start. And they will list all the issues you can work with and give you a different collection of scripts or language patterns or strategies for each symptom. So you're learning multiple modalities, but you're not really going deep into learning how to think when you're working with the client, how to think about their challenge, how to think about the way that it showed up. Because I'm going to tell you, it's not logical the way these things happen. So when you can understand how the mind works and how to assess what you're doing real time in the moment, that is where you learn to become a master of transformation, because you want to know how to know if something is working and how to adjust in the moment if it's not. Now, there's the reality that there's a difference between understanding and knowing. And we all know that knowing comes from experience. If you've landed on my channel, then I know you're smart and I know you're intelligent and you can understand the difference between those two things. But when you have the understanding and then you go implement it, then these things will begin to flow very naturally to you. Speaking to that, if you found this video, if you found this channel, and you were drawn to watch this video, that means that most likely you are someone that thinks about the mind with a great deal of respect, and you want to take care with someone's mind, and you want to be able to do that responsibly. And you might even secretly be worried that you might harm someone if you don't know what you're doing. You don't want to go into something over promising, because there's so much hype in the coaching and the hypnosis world. And I get it. There are crazy, unbelievable results possible with hypnosis, but I don't promise those crazy, unbelievable results. And I teach my students what is appropriate to tell a client is achievable, and then what to allow to be that extra wow experience, because we can't guarantee that everything will work out exactly as the client wants. And if you want to be sure that you don't cross a line and take a client that you can't actually help. You don't want to make that mistake because you feel responsible for that as well. I want you to know all of those things that I just spoke about. People will tell you, oh, you're insecure, you need confidence, you're just doubting your ability. There's a difference between insecurity and doubt and integrity. And when you want to do the right thing, that's integrity. So you want to be sure that you choose a training that respects your values and your ideals and that integrity, because it's easy to fall under the misperception that hypnosis is about performance. There's something in the marketing world called the dramatic demonstration. And the dramatic demonstration is applied to anything. Think about infomercials where they take that Flex Seal stuff and they spray the screen door and they make that the bottom of the boat, and the guy goes out on the lake and he doesn't sink because the Flex Seal has sealed the screen door that is the bottom of the boat. That's called a dramatic demonstration. Well, people will do this with hypnosis too, and they use instant inductions and street style hypnosis to demonstrate how powerful hypnosis is. And it gives the wrong impression that you need to be able to have this performance, this grandiose mentality, that there has to be this big wow for people to believe it works. And that is not true, because that is not the level of work I do. And my clients pay me 5 figures for their transformation because of the results that I get. And again, I do none of that. So if you want to do precision work with the subconscious mind, you want to do it with integrity, and you don't want to get trapped into a one size fits all approach. You deserve a training that reflects that. So here's a mistake that I see over and over. People will believe that readiness is knowing everything. So they will go into a training and they will develop something. Well, they'll develop 2 things. They will develop conscious incompetence, which means a sudden awareness of like, oh my God, there's all this stuff I don't know. But with the right training, you also develop conscious competence, which means you know what to do next, how to assess it, how to move to the next step and the next step. And I'm not talking about checklist. I'm talking about the actual transformation process. But when people fall into that conscious incompetence, then it reinforces this belief that they need to know everything. So people will continue to invest in the next thing and the next thing and another certification and another level and another advanced technique. And they still don't feel ready. And it's because the training has not instilled conscious competence and laid the foundation or provides the support for the development of unconscious competence, which is when it becomes a natural habit, moving through a process, just like tying your sneakers. You want to understand the process to make that transition from conscious competence to unconscious incompetence be easy. And that requires presence, process, and precision. And when you understand that transformation process deeply, you don't panic when something unexpected happens, because believe me, it can and it will. Over 1,000 clients, many, many thousands of sessions just the last few years. And I can tell you the unexpected will happen no matter how versed you are. And to develop the adeptness to flow with that, you want to have that process. Then you'll know how to move forward. So what to look for in any training. If you're evaluating a hypnosis training, you want to ask yourself this question or these questions. 1, does this program teach a cohesive process, or is it a lot of different techniques that you pick and choose from when one thing doesn't work, or you're not seeing the result or feedback you want from the client, you just switch to another technique, or is it a process? Will you clearly understand how to assess whether or not something worked? And I'm going to share with you a secret here. Feeling good is not a result. Feeling good is not a result. Feeling relaxed is not success. Because when someone goes into the focused state of attention of hypnosis, the relaxation response gets activated. That doesn't mean that anything actually changed. Number 3, will you learn when someone should be referred out and how to comfortably know that that potential client isn't right for your skill set? There's something called scope of practice. And yes, I've worked with people with issues that were referred to me. And despite my lengthy healthcare experience, I recognize that there are things that I don't know. I know that there are things that I don't know. And I teach my students how to lean in and how to comfortably say, you know what? I believe hypnosis could help you, but I'm not sure I'm the right person for that. And when to refer these people out and who to refer them to. And the fourth question is, when you're thinking about a training, will you leave that training able to say, I can help you, and stand behind it from a place of integrity instead of fake it till you make it confidence? Because there are people who say hypnosis is a confidence game. If you have no confidence, there is no game. And I do not like the way that that feels at all, because it tends to uphold the stage mentality. What I say is that you want to be competent. And when you're competent in a process that you have confidence in, you will be able to go implement. So if the answer is no to that question, that you can't say I can help you and stand behind it with integrity, keep looking. Because even though you will not be an expert when you graduate from any program, even though you will not be unconsciously competent when you graduate, you should be consciously competent, and you should have the foundations of a skill set that you are going to rinse and repeat and rapidly become unconsciously competent. But if you're having to switch and change gears for every type of client, you're going down this path for a client who deals with fears, worry, anxiety. You're going down this path for a weight loss client. You're going down this path with someone who bites their nails. You're going down another path with someone for procrastination. Building unconscious competence is going to take a long time, because you're not being taught a transformation process. You're being taught a different basket of techniques for each challenge that someone might be facing, and it lengthens the runway to unconscious competence, which is where it feels like you're tying your shoes. So there are many hypnosis trainings available. Some are very inexpensive, some are fast, some are technique heavy. The one that is right for you is going to be the one that prepares you to practice ethically, responsibly, and competently. Not perfectly, but confident in your competence. So if you're the kind of person who wants to stand behind your words when you say, I can help you, that is the standard that you should choose.